here with Ben Hamilton. You're a big fan of the pod, so I feel like whenever I came down here, I was like, there's one person that I definitely need to get a pod in with, and it's you. So
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of the pod. The last one went coming out on, Wednesday or something? It took forever.
yeah, and we haven't put one out this week because I was relying on the boys to be able to orchestrate something, and we haven't been able to chat about it. So
Time zones are all over the
yeah, it's all over the place. Especially Mark goes on a holiday, and so now I'm like, well, I guess it's I'll figure out something to chat about. So we can chat about it.
Yep.
Eagle Man, did you watch a race?
I did. I can't remember what time that was for us, but I think we woke up the next morning, but I watched most of it.
Yeah.
Cam had some fun.
Yeah, he had a good time, eh?
Yeah. Camworth penalty for my Pro Series. That probably helped me a little bit.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
No, it was a good race, and it was cool to see someone keep up with Lucy in the swim.
Yeah, that was exciting.
I wish I could do backstroke that fast.
So that was a good race, and then race coming up this weekend is Vancouver, and this one.
Yeah. Vancouver will be interesting. I haven't looked at the course or followed it too much, but obviously with Hayden out of it, it's quite a bit open now.
Yeah, it's wide open for people. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun race to watch. But this one's the big one.
This is the big one.
Yeah,
We want
yeah.
to focus on it.
Who's King Kong down here? That's like the person that everyone wants to beat. Is it Braden?
Probably being three-time champ.
Yeah.
There's a big Oceania presence, obviously. We've got Matt and Matthew as the Americans.
Yeah.
We've got Jamie from South Africa, but otherwise it's mainly Australia and New Zealanders.
Yeah.
So you want bragging rights.
Yeah.
You want to beat them all. Like, I'm pretty good mates with Mike, so we'll be out there probably together. Braden will be in the front group on the swim, and then it's not as strong as, say, Texas with the international presence or the depth of field, but everyone kind of knows everyone and has raced each other quite a bit, so they know what everyone is like capable of, which makes it like quite close racing.
Sure.
Braden will be on the forefront, and everyone will be trying to like get him.
Key off of him.
Yeah.
I would say that the New Zealand and Australia presence, like I've been talking with Kenny about this all week, but essentially everyone's kind of jockeying for like who's the guy that's going to be coming up on the men's side, obviously, to take like the Crowe and Crowe and Macca slot. Because it seems like over the last like decade, it's just been like kind of a gambit of people that have been like win race here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I've only just come into the sport. I've been pro for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But Braden's won quite a few races, and
Sure.
he's probably the one at the front of that. But Mike's won Ironman New Zealand 3 times now.
True.
So like big presence here in the Oceania region, but it's stepping up beyond that. Like Braden, his biggest next step was probably getting third in St. George.
Yeah.
And Mike got second in Talon at 70.3 European champs a couple of years ago, which put him kind of back on the map a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's just for us, we got to chase the big races.
Yeah.
And try and be as competitive as we can in those to show that the Oceania races that we're doing are challenging.
Yep.
And that we kind of can compete on the world stage when we go to world champs.
You probably travel the most, I would say, of the people down here.
Yeah, but that's part of my reasoning as well. Like if I give an example, like last year I raced here, it didn't go so well, and then I went to Frankfurt and raced there, and I could have gone to races so much closer to home. Right. But I wanted the challenge, and it's like now it's like, okay, I'm chasing Pro Series. Like I might not be at that level, but that's what that's the challenge.
Right.
That's where all the big guys are. I want to race them.
Yeah.
And even though I'm finishing 25 minutes down on Christian at Texas, if I can chip away at that over time and make it less and less, or improve if I finally become a front pack swimmer, then like the race is completely different. Yeah. And then if that for me is like a big step where that could completely change the way I race as an athlete and my outcome in races.
Yeah. With Pro Series, have you calculated how many points you are behind to be able to take the lead for this race?
Not exactly. I think because I'll be then, like Cam's on 4, but 3 of them are halves, 1 of them are full.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to have 2 fulls.
Sure.
So as long as I don't have a shocker, I'll probably take the lead.
Yep.
And then I'll hold that until Frankfurt in
sure.
a couple of weeks' time.
Yep.
So just keep the seat warm again for a couple of weeks. And, but yeah, it'll be, if I can do that and get the lead again, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive approach, how many races I've done.
Yeah.
But then it starts to put a bit of pressure on, like my Texas was okay.
Yeah.
If I can get better points here, then I've got 2 good falls, hopefully a knee slot. And then it's like people then have to start performing well.
Mm-hmm.
And if they misfire, that works in my favor.
Yeah. So kind of give the audience, I'm sure that not a lot of listeners outside of down in this region know kind of your story and like how you started in the sport and things like that. We don't really talk about that very often on the podcast, but just give us like a brief synopsis.
Quite a different journey. So I did my first 70.3 in March of 2021 as an age grouper, which was in Taupo, New Zealand. And it was obviously kind of around COVID time as well. So I had a bit of a cycling background, and I'd been chasing to try to become a professional cyclist for a few years, like 2018 to 2020. I went to Europe every year, raced like semi-pro for kind of like club level teams.
Yeah.
Just, you go over and just, you try and make it, you try and race well.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out. And I just needed to do something different. Like I was so burnt out mentally and physically each year, probably not eating enough, being really skinny. And my brother entered Taupo Half Ironman, and just on a whim, I just entered it as well and thought, if he can do it, I can do it. But you kind of needed that physical commitment so I could then be like, okay, well, I got to train for this now. I got to start swimming and running.
Yeah.
And I'd done a little bit. I'd grown up swimming maybe once a week until teenager, so it wasn't completely foreign. And I'd done some running at school.
Yeah.
So that wasn't like we have the cross-country national champs for school this weekend, and I did those like every year. So a little bit of running.
Yep.
And it just got into it. First race went quite well. Never run a half marathon, but it came down to a sprint finish between me and another athlete.
I was hoping you were going to say you and your brother.
No, not quite. He was hoping to beat me out of the swim, and he did, but I was right behind him. And that was like a shock, and he made some comment as he ran through T1 like, oh, God, he had a good swim and not expecting it, and I just took off from there. But we had a sprint finish with another athlete, and he ended up beating me because he started one wave behind me, so he beat me by 5 seconds. But that was enough like validation to be like, oh, I'm okay at this. I can keep racing the age group stuff.
Yep.
So my next 70.3 wasn't until like September 22. I went and did Sunshine Coast.
Yep.
70.3, and I won the overall age group race there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another like step in the right direction. I've been training fairly hard between those 2 races.
Yeah.
And then it must have been March 23. I just finished university degree, studying part-time, and it was kind of like fork in the road.
What'd you get your degree in?
Commerce, majoring in like finance and economics.
Yeah, nice.
Don't ask me too much about it. I can't remember. But we got that there. Backup option secure.
Yeah.
And then just decided, do I want to have like a crack at this pro opportunity? Like it's the next step. Like I'd won my age group basically at every race I'd done during age groups races, and it was just it was the next step. And I took my pro card, did my first race almost like 2 years ago in South Korea.
Yeah.
Got third in an Ironman race there, and just kind of kept investing the time, the money, the training.
Yeah.
And things just slowly got better, and kind of takes me to where I am today. Had like big breakthrough last year in St. George, getting second there.
Yeah.
And I was like third at Ironman New Zealand. That got me Kona slot, and I had Taupo 70.3 world slot.
Yep. And
then it's still going.
Yeah.
We're still on this journey, but it's like I don't know, things has been like up and down, but there's been some really good moments so far.
Bit of a roller coaster.
Like as St. George, but then rough patch through the middle of the year, Sunshine Coast win. My first pro win was a nice lift back up. Yeah. And we finished the year pretty well last year, and then we've been busy this year. Yeah. So you're 5 races in this year? This will be the 5th one? Yeah, this will be the 5th one. Yeah. Ironman New Zealand, Geelong, 70.3, Texas, St. George, Cairns.
Of those, which one would be like your favorite right now, or one that you had like you feel your best result?
Texas and St. George were better.
Yep.
As I was saying to you before, Ironman New Zealand wasn't super fit.
Yep.
Geelong, I got into trouble with a bad swim and so many fast swimmers and just the dynamics.
Yep.
But to get sixth in St. George 2 weeks after racing Texas, like I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Like didn't quite have the run legs where I could have maybe worked my way up a bit.
Sure.
But I was happy with that, and I love that course. Just being so honest.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Should we talk about your race?
No. We don't. No one wants to hear about my race anymore. So, cool. What is kind of the game plan for you on race day here in Cairns?
I'd like to swim front.
Yeah.
Realistically, there's going to be some faster guys pull away.
Yeah.
So keeping that gap to as small as possible.
Yeah.
Just keep it small, because I think last year it was about 4 minutes and we just had a big group on the bike.
Yeah.
Just the bike course is pretty honest, as you might have seen. There's
not a way to like claw back time too easily.
No, you just kind of got to. Yeah, there's a couple of little rollers and stuff, and you can run a few turns out there to see what's happening, but you just got to ride honest.
Yeah.
Probably close that gap down in the first kind of like 90k.
Sure.
Settle in. Like, I think I haven't run as well as I can at an Ironman distance race. My best is 2:44, and obviously now we have to try run 2:38 or quicker.
Right. Yeah. If you're not running 2 sub 40 anymore, then you're out the back, which is insane.
Yeah. So, and it should be a fast run course on paper.
Yeah.
A little bit technical, but completely flat.
Yeah.
So I think for me, having the best swim I can, trying to close gaps down on the bike, keep them. I think last year I was 7 minutes down on Matt Burton coming off the bike, but only 1:30 off second.
Yeah.
So that was like set up well to like if you have a good run here, you can go okay.
Yeah.
But as we spoke about, run didn't go so well. So ideally, execute the run properly.
Yeah.
And just pace it well throughout, and just see where it puts me.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully top 5 in an East slot.
There you go. There's do you feel like you got experience, even though things didn't go well last year and you ended up not finishing? Do you feel like you gained some experience on this course and how to race it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think I know what wasn't going so well for me last year.
Sure.
And I know that within like my team and myself, like I know what I've been doing in my training, and those are kind of like all resolved.
Yep.
So like I can get out there on the run and hopefully execute to my best ability. And just knowing the course and how hot it gets.
Yeah.
Staying hydrated. It seems really basic, but when you get out there and you're a bit tired and you
don't have the wits about you anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. But you gain experience from like every Ironman. It's like I've done quite a few now in a short space of time.
Yeah.
But I feel I learned something from each race, and with Texas, like so close, well, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like I can take everything from that and just apply it here.
Yeah.
As long as my, not too tired from all the race.
Right. Because you've raced probably the most out of a lot of athletes right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think no one's at 3 Ironmans this year.
No. So that'll be good. Who's coaching you right now?
I'm with Casper Pedersen.
Okay. Nice.
Joined Casper's at the start of this year.
Yep.
Before that was like 18 months of coaching myself, kind of just figuring things out, seeing where to next. But it's great to be working with Casper and just having him a part of my team and the direction and his experience.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's really close with Magnus, obviously one of the best athletes in the world. So
yes.
Yeah, helps a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. As far as looking past this race, what does the rest of the season kind of look like? Is this kind of the big stepping stone for like what the rest of the year will look like?
Yeah, this is a big fork in the road.
Yeah.
So I've got 70.3 world slot.
Yep.
That kind of sits with a question mark beside it. If I get top 5 and get an East slot, that's really good, because then I've got 4 out of my 5 Pro Series races done.
Sure.
And then I'll go to Nice for my 5th.
Yep.
And then Marbella comes along as like what does the series look like?
Sure.
Because Marbella is the last one, and I can then look at it and see if I gain X amount of points, what will it get me? should I go? Yes
Yeah.
or no? I'd say it's likely that I will need to go.
Yeah.
But I will probably come home from Nice afterwards to New Zealand and then go back up because I can't stay in Europe for more than 3 months.
For 3 months, yeah.
So that's option number one.
Yep.
Option number two, I've got no idea. There are multiple options. I've entered Lake Placid.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Placid. I haven't spoken to Casper about Placid. If we need to try wrap up a Pro Series in July,
Yeah.
which would be ridiculous,
Yeah.
because I don't think anyone else is going to do that. And I could go to Placid and get an East
And
slot
have
in
4
there.
Ironmans and 4 world champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I get an East spot in Placid, do I go to Nice?
Yeah.
I think that would be ridiculous.
Then it'd be pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be.
Man.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Could do Bustleton at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I did Langkawi a couple of years ago. That's a really cool race. That's pretty close to home.
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast, would be cool to go back there, but that's the same time as Nice.
Yeah.
So there's definitely options.
Yeah.
It's just figuring it out, really.
How do you feel about next season? Everyone going back to Kona?
Oh, it's cool.
It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to experience Kona last year.
Yeah.
But it was obviously male only.
Right.
I think it would be such a different atmosphere having male and females racing there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so cool to experience. And like growing up, my dad did an Ironman in 2009 and everyone spoke about, everything was about Kona.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to be there and experience that for what it is.
Yeah.
It's listening to you guys talk about it and all the logistics and stuff. It was a tricky, Ironman was in a real tricky situation about what they do.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Best
we'll have
possible
to see.
scenario probably for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I haven't raced Nice either, so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
But I think it sounds like it's been a little bit unsuccessful for what they were hoping for, but
Yeah, I think it's been not as good as they thought it would be, but I'm still in the camp of if they didn't split genders, I think it could have maybe worked. But then you run the risk of making the island pretty upset once there's no race at all.
yeah.
Then they could basically just say, "Nah, we don't want you guys back."
Yeah. Yeah.
So huge risk, but I feel like they're working on the logistics as far as how many age group male and female athletes and things like that, and that's kind of the hot topic now. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that.
What would you think about another New Zealand 70.3 Worlds?
Oh, I would love
or
that.
Even a Ironman New Zealand added to the Pro Series.
That would be good. That would be good. I'm a big proponent. Once you go down to New Zealand
yeah.
and go to that race in that venue, it's next level.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite races I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So, and I've been to a lot. So, yeah.
Good
it's
marketing.
good.
Good marketing.
Yeah, it's good. So, what is so the big goal for next year? Obviously, every year now going forward is going to be Ironman World Champs.
Yeah.
For you.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Still as a developing athlete, I want to get some wins along the way.
Yep.
And just continue to build my team around me and try and improve as an athlete.
Yeah.
But yeah, being Kona's easy for us. One flight.
Yeah, it's easy, and you're not really time zone. You're not zapped too much. It's
we go
23 hours or something.
Yeah, so we just go back a day.
Yeah.
And an hour.
Yeah.
Which is nothing. So,
Yeah, that's nothing. That's amazing.
yeah, Kona would be cool.
Yeah.
I think having that as an end goal each year would give some real structure
Yeah.
to your season. And Ironman's pretty good now at getting a full race season calendar out well in advance, so we can kind of then plan
Yeah.
and figure everything out. So
And Pro Series might look different next year, obviously, with 70.3 Worlds being before Kona.
yes, yeah, chatting with a few people about that, it's well, what do? You go to Europe
Yeah.
and kind of, which for us in New Zealand it might be race Oceania, but a US, and then kind of mid-year you go to Europe, do some racing there, do 70.3 Worlds,
Yeah.
and then go straight from 70.3 Worlds home west
Yeah.
via the US, then to Hawaii, and then sounds like a long trip on the road, but
That's a lot of time on the road.
yeah.
So, cool. Well, Ben, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Carl.
I think we got a good amount of stuff. Anything you want the fans to know or follow with your journey? YouTube? You don't have a YouTube.
No, I don't have a YouTube.
Not yet.
We haven't got that far.
Yeah.
Probably not a big enough hype around. We've got Team Hammy, which
Yeah.
is, I guess, my little support team, which is my family. We don't have any merch, but if you see them out there, they've got, some cool shit.
Custom merch.
Yeah, custom merch.
Yeah.
get enough hype around it, we can make some, but
There you go.
push that like 5 years down the road, or push it to Emma or
Yeah.
responsibility or something.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Cool. Well, best of luck this weekend. Rooting for you.
Thanks, Carl.
See how it goes.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.